What's up, guys? Contract02 here with another edition of What's New, the Extreme Rules 2014 pay-per-view. Just concluded about 15 minutes ago, and man, can I say this was a great show. I'm glad that I gave it 4 stars because that is exactly what it deserves. Because almost every single match, a couple matches weren't as great, but a lot of them, majority of the matches on this card were awesome. And I think it's best to only start it off with the kickoff show and the kickoff match. The kickoff match was a WLC match between El Torito and Hornswoggle, and that match was actually really, really entertaining and really, really fun to watch. They had like everything was mini, everything was I don't want to say midget, but small, little people sized stuff. They had like a little people chair, a miniature table. They even had Michael Cole, little people versions of Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry Lawler doing commentary on this little small announcer's table. It was awesome. The Los Matadores and 3MB got into it. There was a lot of brawling and stuff, but there was some really cool spots in this matchup. There was one spot where they had the table stacked up, and then I think they had like ladders on top of that, and literally, I think it was it El Torito? I think it was El Torito. It might have been. I can't really remember, but it was this one huge spot where like everybody just splashed on top of each other and went through the tables. And it was really cool. And there was this one spot where like Drew McIntyre did like imagine the Undertaker like suicide plancha, and he was trying. I think he was going for El Torito, but he literally just jumped over the ropes and swanton bombed into to a table. It was awesome. But in the end, El Torito did like a Rey Mysterio like senton to put Hornswoggle through the table. 1, 2, 3. El Torito wins the WLC match. Very entertaining match. Very good way to warm up the crowd for the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view started off with the triple threat match between Rob Van Dam, Cesaro, and Jack Swagger. Match was really, really, really good. Definitely better than the matches they've had on Raw thus far. But in the end, it was I also forgot to mention this was an elimination triple threat as well. It was towards the end. Jack Swagger. I remember it was one spot where like RVD like jumped off the rope and he didn't jump off the rope. Jack Swagger like did like the Kurt Angle like going up the rope and belly to belly, but he caught him in an ankle lock, and it was really awesome. But in the end, Cesaro went for the Cesaro. He did like his deadlift suplex, and then RVD hit a springboard 5-star to eliminate Jack Swagger. The first time they showed this thing, it was not even caught. They didn't even get it on camera the first time, so like it literally looks like RVD just jumped into the camera scene. But anyway, so Jack Swagger was eliminated, and then it was down to Cesaro, RVD. They had a little good back and forth, but in the end, RVD went for he went for the 5-star. He got a trash can and put it on the chest of Cesaro. Went for the 5-star. Cesaro countered, and Cesaro hit the neutralizer on the damn trash can to get the win. 1, 2, 3. Cesaro wins that match. Okay, and after that, it was Truth. Sorry about that. Truth and Consequences. I guess is what they're going to be called. I don't know, but R-Truth and Xavier Woods versus Alexander Rusev, in a what was not a complete squash match, but in a way it still was. At the very beginning of the match, Truth and Xavier tried to jump Rusev. Rusev basically just took out, super kicked Xavier Woods, and it would hit like a T-bone or something on him, and that would basically take him out of the match, and it would be down to R-Truth and Rusev. And Rusev would obviously get the win, put the accolade in, and that's it. Beat both of them down, squash, the end. Next was Bad News Barrett versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Very, very, very good match. Probably one of the best, without the Extreme Rules stipulations, without stipulations and all that stuff. Probably one of the best matches on the card. Worst thing about this match is that Big E wasn't really getting a reaction. He was getting booed, which, whatever. But it was really good. Really, really good. Trying to think of some spots. I can't really think of any spots that really stood out. But also this one spot where Biggie Langston did a suicide dive. Imagine a suicide dive, but the guy's on imagine Edge and Mick Foley from WrestleMania 22. That's what they basically did. Biggie literally speared him to the outside. That was really cool. But in the end, Biggie would go. Let me see. Bad News Barrett would go for the bullhammer. It would get countered. Biggie would run off the ropes, and then Cesaro hit not Cesaro, but Wade Barrett would hit a flying bullhammer to win the Intercontinental Championship for the 4th time, by the way. Then we would see the best match of the night. That match was great, but this was one of the best matches of the night right here. Evolution versus The Shield in a 6-man tag match. The match started off very, raw, kind of it was kind of like your normal 6-man tag. Nothing very, very great, but things got really good once Ambrose, Orton, Rollins, and Triple H went over to the outside and started brawling. It got really, really good. I mean, think about it was this one spot where I swear they took everything off the table, and it was Orton and Triple. I don't know. It was like Orton and Triple H or Orton and and Batista. I don't remember, but Dean Ambrose would run off the 2 tables and hit a huge clothesline up both of them. It was really cool. And then there was one spot where they were near one of the entrance ways into the arena, and Seth Rollins would jump off of the top of the balcony, all Sabu onto Triple H, and Triple H, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton. That was a really, really cool spot. But in the end, Roman Reigns would hit the spear and get the huge victory for the Shield and prove that they have beaten one of the best in the business, that they are the best faction in WWE's history, right there. So big win for the Shield. After that, we've got Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Also a very good match. John Cena would try to get out of the cage on many different occasions, but Eric Rowan and Luke Harper would not allow it. At one point, John Cena threw Luke Harper into the ring, and it became kind of like a handicap match. But in the end, I want to say Orton for John Cena would basically take out all the Wyatts and would go to leave the cage. The lights went out, and then you hear this deep, monstery voice singing, "Got the whole world in his hands," and the lights come on, and to everybody's surprise, it's just a little kid. It's a little kid with this monster voice coming out of his, coming out of the mic. And John Cena was very, very shocked, turned around to his sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt would leave the cage and win the match, and leave with the kid and the rest of the Wyatt members. So very, very interesting, very, very original and interesting ending to this matchup. Next was Paige versus Tamina. Didn't really get that much of a reaction from this match. The crowd wasn't really into it, but it was decent. It was a couple of cool spots in there. But Paige would get her in the Scorpion Crosslock and make Tamina tap out and retain her Divas Championship. And last but not least, the main event, Kane versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Great match. Amazing match. It was Extreme Rules. See, we saw kendo sticks. We saw chairs. We saw basically everything you can think of. We saw it. At one point, they went into the gorilla position and fought Kane threw a freaking flat screen TV into a water bucket and it like exploded. They went to the into the back where there was a car, and Kane like threw Daniel Bryan into the car and then threw like this like canister into the window of it. Kane broke a window with his hand. It was some awesome stuff in this thing. It reminds me a lot of Rock and Mankind back in the day. It was that awesome with the no rules. So this would have been better for the Falls Count Anywhere match, really. But I mean, it was good for what it was. But in the end, not in the end, but when they were in the back, Kane would try to keep attacking Braun, but then Braun would make a comeback. He would put Kane on a forklift and rat him out back into the arena. Pull the forklift all the way up, throw him into the ring, and hit a flying headbutt into the ring. I thought that was the end of the match. If that was the end of the match right there, I would have went on happy, but it wasn't it. 1-2, Kane kicked out. They went to the outside. Daniel Bryan went for a suicide dive. Kane caught him and chokeslammed him into one of the announcers' tables. Awesome spot. But in the end, Kane would get a table, light it on fire, and then what's going through my head is some Edge and Mick Foley stuff. But Kane would try to choke slam Daniel Bryan into the flaming table from the apron, but Daniel Bryan would counter and basically pull the ropes and send Kane flying into that flaming table. And literally, the funny thing about this whole thing is literally first thing he hit the flaming table, this guy was there basically putting him out with a fire extinguisher. Like, they didn't even give like even a second for this thing to set in. First thing he caught on fire, like they put him out. It was pretty funny. But Kane would get back in the ring and then get hit with the Daniel Bryan knee, and Daniel Bryan would retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, guys, that is the Extreme Rules 2014 pay-per-view. It was a good one. I'm glad I watched it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now. Go watch it now on the WWE Network. They have it. It should be archived at this point, so why not go watch it when you get the time. It's really, really good. But until next time, guys, comment, rate, subscribe. Stay go, everybody. Peace.